Back with my boy Sai again, and we're going through a bunch of wild One Piece theories. Some you might like, some might make you angry, but let's get into it. So the first one is, we're just going to straight up say it, Dr. Hiriluk, the guy back in Drum Island, he was like Chopper Sensei. He just might be Rox D. Zebek. That's it. And I'll just put the pictures side by side. They kind of look alike. And that's the theory. They look alike, and if you take Rox's hair and you do this, you get Dr. Hiriluk. No, there's more to it, of course. So, according to Dr. Hiriluk, he was once an evil person with a terminal illness whose disease was miraculously cured when he watched the sakura trees in West Blue 38 years ago. Now, that's pretty wild because God Valley and Rox Pirates were most notable at this point, pre-time skip 38 years ago, right? Or it would have been less. Yeah. It was around that time, right? Because post-time skip when Rox is revealed, it says 39 years ago, right? When Sengoku's talking about it. So it would technically be like 37 years ago when Dr. Hiriluk would have been talking about this.
I'm looking at Dr. Hiriluk right now and his biography on the wiki. It doesn't say 38 specifically, but it did say around over 30 years is when he started his dream to wanting to create like sakura trees on Drum Island.
I might be looking at fake news.
Timeline wise, I mean, it's close enough. Like there is room for it. So you could say, yeah, after God Valley, Dr. Hiriluk Rox D. Zebek had a change of heart and he became a quack doctor. It's an insane theory that you would have to stretch a lot for. But Zhoniin sent me a picture of Dr. Hiriluk and Rox side by side. And you gotta admit, they do share some facial similarities, like the nose, the mouth, the hair. Like if Dr. Hiriluk just like threw water on it, I guess it could look like Rox. I just love this theory because it's so silly. But he did say he was a thief at one point. He was a villain to some extent. So I wouldn't mind that. And he said he saw cherry trees somewhere in the west, which I guess technically could be God Valley. God Valley was in the West Blue, right?
Yeah, right, because that's what Shanks' Beaver card said. He was born in the west.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. God Valley's in the west. Hiriluk saw cherry blossoms in the west. I mean, you gotta admit, it's a silly theory, but it's one of those One Piece theories that's so silly, I just kind of love it. Will it happen? Probably not, but you gotta admit, it's kind of funny, dude.
I mean, I would laugh. I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, there would be some serious explaining to be done as to why he's suddenly not Rox and he's goofy Dr. Hiriluk. I mean, he should be one of the strongest guys ever, but yeah.
Think about it. It's like Hyogoro, right? Like back in Odin's flashback, Hyogoro was like this 50-ton monster with a sword, crazy tattoos, fire hair. And then as an old man, he's like, what, the size of like our left testicle. He can barely pick up a sword. So age hits you hard, man. Like Baking, right? And her Yuchi looked like, she was Stussy. And then now
True.
Age will hit people hard, so maybe he's not like that guy anymore. He mellowed out. It's very possible.
Damn,
and
that's a good point.
One thing I like about this is that it would also kind of flesh out more about Dr. Kureha. Dr. Kureha was the first character in the entire series that told us about the Will of D. Well, she didn't tell us, but she mentioned it off to the side. And I say, well, like, how does she know about the Will of D? Was she a pirate? Like, and then of course her and Dr. Hiriluk had an interesting relationship. I wouldn't say they loved each other, but they were like really good friends. So yeah, I think this would fit, and it wouldn't be bad if we got this reveal. Like, things could fall into place kind of well. The one thing I'd have problems with, and this is just a me thing, but that would mean that Dr. Hiriluk got no diff by Wapple's guys. I mean, technically I know Dr. Hiriluk got poisoned, but it's kind of sad that Dr. Hiriluk was really making this guy run every other day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There needs to be some serious revisionist history to a degree, but it could, in theory, work. And then the last thing for this theory is, which we've talked about a few times, trying to make sense of why Blackbeard went to the Drum Kingdom and whatever he did, destroyed it, or he did some bad things there. Was he looking for Rox?
Yeah, he heard rumors that Rox was on the island, so he was like, I gotta go. I gotta figure this out. I gotta get to the bottom of this.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
We still don't know. We were talking about him getting the Hito no Mi, but I don't know. Then that's maybe tied into it too. Why he gave it to Chopper, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he is a really experienced guy, right? Like, he was out there in the world. If he really is that dog, I would have loved if he just beat Wapple without just running away from his guards every other Tuesday. But
yeah, in
maybe
theory,
he doesn't fight anymore.
He
Maybe
could just
give a pacifist.
He could just conquer hockey them without even having to move. But maybe the disease just nerfed him completely.
Here's the thing too, Dr. Hiriluk was kind of a maniac when we saw him in the manga. I'm looking at his biography right now, apparently, and I remember this now that I read it, but it says that when Dr. Hiriluk was trying to cure this guy, the wife tried to stop him, the wife of the guy, and he ended up just shooting the wife with the gun so that she would get out of his way. And I was like, yeah, I mean, Rox was a menace. I mean, I guess this could fall in line. Like, Rox, stabbed Kid Loki?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he's just over here seriously injuring people.
Wow, that confirms it then.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, also because we never see Rox's face, it's because Oda doesn't want to reveal that it's Hiriluk yet.
Yeah, Oda was cooking for all these years. My goat.
Oh man. What? Well, I guess we'll go on to the next topic of discussion here. So when we see flashbacks to the Roger pirate ship, we see like this egg question mark on it. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. Egg. I mean, mainly in Odin's flashback is when we see it the most, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
What is that thing? Have you ever thought deeply about it?
Yeah, I've thought about the egg a lot. And as far as the egg goes, there's a lot of camps for this. The main one that was popular for like the past 5 or so years, it's just that egg housed an ancient weapon. So people are saying that could be like Uranus, for example, which kind of got hit pretty hard because of what happened to Lelucia. They're like, wait, if that's Uranus, then what is that egg again? I still think it could be Uranus, because when it comes to the ancient weapons, Shirahoshi is a living being, yet she is Poseidon. So I would like to imagine that Uranus could also be a living thing as well, and it could have spawned from the egg. And I feel like timeline-wise, that would kind of match up, right? Because during Roger's journey, that's when he saw like baby Shirahoshi when she was first born. And it's like, okay, the egg was around during Roger's journey. Maybe it hatched like shortly after Shirahoshi was born too. Like, I feel like so Shirahoshi and Uranus would be about the same age. Outside of that, I like the theory that it could be what we saw in the mural. We saw this giant like bird monster at the very top of the Elbaf tree, or whatever tree that was, right? We saw a giant bird monster shooting fire. That could be what was in the egg as well. I don't think that's too bad. But those are my main thoughts. I know those are like the most basic ones out there, but to be honest, like what else could the egg be? Like, I don't know, dude.
No, that's the thing, is that it's not even directly addressed. You kind of just like, you could just read the whole series and you never even notice it's there. Here's like a real sad...
I never talked about it.
Yeah, here's a sad theory. It's just a part of the ship. It's just like a room.
Oh, dude, I would hate that. Imagine people were theorizing about that egg for all these years, and then it turns out it's just a room. That's the room Roger liked to sleep in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You're not wrong. That could be it. That is viable.
I don't know, unless it comes back, but it's interesting that it's never addressed, touched on, talked about, alluded to. But it does look like an egg for sure. It looks like a giant egg. There's no doubt about that. But that would be hilarious if it's just...
It was spotted too. It reminds me of like, there's a video game back on like the 64s, like Jimmy and the Giant Egg, and it's just a kid rolling around giant eggs for fun. It was like, maybe Roger was just that guy. Like, you know how Luffy loves beetles? What if Roger was just an egg guy? He just, whenever he goes through an island, he just looks for eggs. Like, this is a good one. Bring it on board.
The crew's like, sir, that egg's too big for the ship. I don't care. Take up room. It's fine. I need it. I need this.
Please, my collection.
Here's another fun one. And it's not really a theory. It's just kind of a funny observation. So Odin, he was a unit. He was huge. Much bigger than Zoro, right? Yes. So when we see Odin using Enma, it matches up with how big Odin is, right? It doesn't look like a small sword. It just looks like a regular sword to him. But when Zoro uses Enma, it's the same size as Zoro.
Yeah, it's human sized.
So how does that work? Is that just Odo's just like, well, oh well, or is there some kind of hockey magic going on?
Yeah, when it comes to this, people have said that Oda's actually came out and answered it already. I don't think he has. From what I've seen, he hasn't really tackled it, but the main thought, and this is what I think it has to be, but just the fact that the sword matches the user. We actually saw a pretty good instance of this again. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago where Who's Who had Yasui's blade, and he was about to stab page 1, right? He had him on the ground. He had the sword to his neck or whatever. And that sword was regular size. Yamato beat Who's Who. And then next thing you know, the sword is now like the perfect size for Yamato. And it's like, okay, now the sword just like grew 3 feet in like a span of like a single chapter. But yeah, I think the simple answer is just that the sword or weapon matches whoever's wielding it. And the thing is too with Enma is that the size of it didn't change when Zoro picked it up. It changed when Odin died. Because after Odin died, they started putting the blades in boxes, right? Like Enma and Amino Habakiri, those were like preserved by Sukiyaki. So yeah, like I guess it just depends on who picks up the blade last. It just contorts itself to you, which is why I think the theory that Usopp will wield Ragnir, or theories that are similar in that vein. I think that's why they're so popular, and they kind of bank on that. You're like, oh, Ragnir's massive. How is Usopp going to pick it up? But it's like, well, maybe Ragnir just gets small, I guess. That's One Piece,
Man, at least he winds up getting something. But I accept that because also Venus Juro, he has his sword, and then when he goes into his Zoan form, he's like massive, and then his sword is massive as well. So
like the size of a building.
Yeah, so that's fair to say. The sword just changes to the user. Works for me.
Yeah, like imagine if Nasujiro transformed into his giant yokai, and then the sword is like the size of a toothpick. Like that would be really awful. Like at that point, just get rid of the sword, brother. Yeah, exactly. Like, just drop it, man. Drop Shodai Kitetsu. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, it works for me. And last one, Gunko is a clone of Ginny.
Yes, I've seen this theory a lot. I don't want to sound like a hater. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I could see why people think it. For me, I just don't think she looks like Ginny. I don't see the similarity that people see, but the idea of it I think is fun, right? Like Ginny was experimented on by Saturn and at the Holy Land, so I think that fits. Kuma was turned into a pacifista. If Ginny was turned into a war machine, they'd be like polar opposites. I think that's amazing as well. But I just don't see the similarity yet in terms of like appearance. How do you feel about it? Do you like this theory?
I don't hate it. I guess the hair is kind of similar. And just the fact that we know that clones are a thing and that the world government is involved in it with Vegapunk's research and all that stuff. And they already, experimented on Bonnie, Ginny's daughter. And then we were talking about this in the last video, how Gunko has like the Revolutionary Army hat goggle aesthetic, which Ginny was a part of. Face is covered for some reason.
Like I said, I really like the parallels to Kuma. Like one's a pacifist and then one's an actual like meant for war machine. I guess something that I'd kind of be wondering about if this is true is why do the God Knights treat her so well? Like they treat her like an actual Nakama, whereas comparison to like Germa, right? Germa has a bunch of clone soldiers as well, and they treat them like fodder. Like they do not care. They don't talk to them. They just get up, they die, and that's it. Like maybe Gunko's like the special one among all of them, or maybe they just really like Gunko because it's, I don't know, like a fun robot. Which, to be fair, like if I had an AI robot walking in my household, I think I would be kind of nice to it.
Oh yeah, me too.
So I could see that. But these are special dragons we're talking about, man. They beat like, at least 10 slaves a day.
Yeah, and Summers is like a full-blown psychopath, so he has no reason to just be nice.
Maybe he just sees Gunko and he's like, yeah, like this is cool. Like maybe it's because Saturn made it, right? Like, this is Saturn's experiment, dude. Yeah, why not? Let's be nice to this thing.
That could be it. I mean, I'm not sold on it, but I do think it's a possibility. I wouldn't completely write it off.
It's not zero.
Yeah.
It's not zero. I think I just need to see like Gunko without the bandage wrap, and then I can like piece it together. But yeah, appearance wise for me, I just don't see how they're alike right now.
And then we need the hair color reveal on Ginny and Gunko. And then that, I guess, will be maybe an indicator.
Yeah, one fun thing, too, is that Bonnie is nowhere near Gunko right now. Like, Bonnie's, like, so detached. She's over there with Frankie and with Lilith and with Ripley. So it's like, yeah, like, there's a reason, obviously, like, how people are saying that Shamrock is Bonnie's father. It's like, oh, like, another reason why Bonnie's not here isn't just because of Shamrock, but it's because Ginny's clone is here, too.
Oh, yeah, and also Shamrock was with Gunko, and they didn't,
That'd be crazy.
But they didn't... Yeah, I mean, but you think he would act different?
Wife and husband, huh?
Or I don't know. Interesting. I don't know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's like a celestial dragon we're talking about, right? So
Yeah.
we can contort it a little bit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Interesting.
It's not a bad theory.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of Stockholm syndrome myself into it. Like, oh, it's not that bad. Like I came into this like 3 out of 10, but now I'm walking away. It's like okay, maybe it's like a 4 out of 10, maybe like a 5. I don't know.
Almost 50%.
Yeah, almost 50.
All right. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think about these crazy, wild theories in the comments. And if you want, check out Sai. He's going to say something, but link in the description.
Zhoniin's going to come out.
I mean, it's the editor. I don't control it.
Sub to Zhoniin.
All right, guys. See ya.